Good evening and welcome to We Lie to You News and a happy belated January 6th. As they say in the plumbing industry, shit's going down this week. Our top stories. California is taking a break from burning down metaphorically to burning down literally. Mark Zuckerberg announces things haven't gone so well with the beloved fact checkers, so he's getting rid of them. Canada is getting rid of Justin Trudeau, and Trump is playing real-world Monopoly with Greenland. All that and more tonight. Starting with California. After the holiday shoplifting season ended, wildfire season began with a historical fire that has ravaged the Pacific Palisades, Malibu, and LA. It turns out the fires have been rather difficult to put out without water, but luckily California Governor Gavin Nome was on the scene, ensuring the public that someone else has to figure that out.
What is the situation with the water? Obviously in the Palisades, ran out last night in the hydrants. I was talking to the firefighter in this block. They left because there was no water in the hydrant here.
The local folks are trying to figure that out.
Why isn't there any water? Well, let's throw it back to a video of Newsom proudly announcing the largest dam removal project in history in order to save a few fish.
Largest dam removal project in U.S. history.
Nice. What could go wrong with that? Now, in light of the deadly California fires, let's throw it forward to President Trump pointing out exactly what has gone wrong with that. Governor Gavin Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snowmelt from the north to flow daily into many parts of California, including the areas that are currently burning in a virtually apocalyptic way. He wanted to protect an essentially worthless fish called smelt by giving it less water. It didn't work, but didn't care about the people of California. Now the ultimate price is being paid. Gavin, you chose to restrict the flow of water to California? Are you sure that was a good idea?
I could be more proud as a Californian, and I could be more proud as a father, because my kids and their great-great-grandkids will have the opportunity to see something.
Absolutely. Your kids are having the opportunity to see something that is pretty remarkable. Their state burning down without much water to put it out. Hey Nigel, can you pull up some science on how water isn't proven to be an effective method for putting out fires and maybe how it's kind of dangerous? I want to position water as an ivermectin to fire. As we see Governor Newsom always busy fighting climate change, shouldn't we be led to believe that these fires are simply a result of deadly climate change? Yes, here's the proof.
We're giving billions and billions of dollars for forest fires in California. There's no reason for those fires to be like they are. They're leaving them dirty. It's a disgraceful thing. Old trees are sitting there rotting and dry. And instead of cleaning it up, they don't touch them. They leave them. And we end up with these massive fires that we're paying hundreds of billions of dollars for to fix. And the destruction is incredible. So I think California ought to get their act together and clean up their forests and manage their forests because it's disgraceful. What's happening should never happen.
Well, that doesn't sound like proof, but luckily for California residents, Gavin Newsom prevents the flow of water and ignores taking practical action that would prevent devastating wildfires in favor of taking massive action against climate change. It's just like if a home intruder breaks into your house and wants to hurt your family. The best action you can take is to protect your family by fighting off an imaginary friend during the home invasion. We'd all like to thank Gavin Newsom for his dedication to serving California, and we'd like to condemn President Trump for calling for an insurrection in that clip where he's laying out the simple method needed to prevent wildfires. America is no place for that kind of extremism. That's the latest on the California wildfires. In other news this week, on January 6th, poetically enough, Kamala Harris became the first woman to certify her own election loss. Congrats to her. Moving along. Trump Force One landed in Greenland on a little bit of a scouting mission this week. Why? President Trump is very interested in acquiring Greenland. Upon his announced intentions, many Americans have been taken aback by this news as they're surprised to learn that Greenland is a place. But why does President Trump want Greenland to become part of America?
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes.
Well, there you have it. As Trump apparently doesn't like the board game version of Monopoly, he also announced another move.
Changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
That kind of thing happens from a guy who puts America and golf above all else. Moving along, Justin Trudeau resigns as Canadian Prime Minister, effective once the next Prime Minister is chosen. Look for Trudeau to do as much damage as possible on the way out. But how will Canadians fare without a Prime Minister who is out to disarm them and freeze their bank accounts for speaking out against him when he wants to force vaccinate them? And will they be okay without a Prime Minister who has demanded life in prison for speech crimes and called for the incarceration for crimes that haven't been committed, but his government thinks they will be committed? Well, I Trudeauly don't know, but I fear that Canada could fall into the arms of tyranny without Trudeau. Please keep Canada in your prayers. Unless you're in Canada in public, because Trudeau made praying in public an arrestable offense. And our final story tonight, the always likable Mark Zuckerberg announced some interesting changes for Facebook and Instagram, including getting rid of fact checkers. Take a look.
The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes, similar to X.
Zuckerberg then went on for another 5 minutes outlining more changes in that rather riveting video where he read off a teleprompter while doing an impression of a severely autistic patient, which was rather well performed, by the way. The gist of the changes is that fact checkers will be flushed down the toilet where they belong, and Facebook and Instagram won't be censoring conservatives anymore, as Zuckerberg will no longer be taking orders from the Biden administration. In the moment of the week, President Trump was asked a rather interesting question about Zuckerberg's changes. Take a look.
Do you think he's directly responding to the threats that you have made to him in the past? With
Probably.
That's pretty good. These changes have many conservatives praising Zuckerberg, believing he's legitimately become a more based person. And it's great that some conservatives think he's one of them now. That's much easier to see than it is to recognize how Zuckerberg bowed down to the Biden administration and is now bowing down to Trump because he's a spineless coward who doesn't operate with any principles. And he'll do anything that is in the best short-term interest for his company, and do anything to keep himself from having to be accountable for any crimes he's committed, including perjury during congressional testimony. So Zuckerberg's changed. He's great now. That's it for today's news. California residents, you might be experiencing a tragedy now, but rest assured that once Newsom's No More Gas Vehicles by 2035 climate policy takes effect, your homes that will already be gone will be very well protected against devastating wildfires that will still happen. Good night. For the love of God, are you tired of feeling tired? Do you always hit the snooze button, then slam your head straight back on the pillow? With all the problems you have to take care of at work and at home, family and friends, no wonder you feel tired all the time. If you're a responsible person, you probably take care of a lot of different things. But have you ever stopped and asked, who takes care of you? Well, I know someone who will take care of you. Magnesium Breakthrough, an all-natural supplement that reduces fatigue and helps you sleep more peacefully. It even strengthens muscles and improves heart and brain function. There's a reason why Magnesium Breakthrough has been a part of my daily routine for over 4 years. And get this, most magnesium supplements on the market are not full spectrum. But Magnesium Breakthrough is the only supplement on the market that contains all 7 forms of magnesium in the optimal ratios. Imagine having the energy and strength to happily get out of bed and face the day boldly and courageously, and being able to show up as your best self and keep your energy high throughout the day and into the night. So if you want to feel more energized and get the best night's sleep that you've had in, well, forever, give Magnesium Breakthrough a try. For an exclusive offer, go to bioptimizers.com/JP and use promo code AWAKEN at checkout for 10% off. And if you subscribe, not only will you get amazing offers and free gifts, but you'll make sure your monthly supply is guaranteed.